good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Jantima Warner Brothers Music. So guys, I got wind of a video that popular YouTuber Paris Milan made about Tyre Nichols. And the name of the video is called Tyre Nichols Anti-BW Tweets Exposed. Now, Paris Milan is a YouTuber that covers celebrity and some of the issues that, like I said, we have in the black community, but from a black woman's perspective. It's kind of like the opposite of what you would hear in the black manosphere. So she did some research and found out that the late Tyre Nichols, at one point in his history, had some anti-black woman tweets in the early 2000s or 2010s. So as we know, he was killed in Memphis and originally from Sacramento, California, but died in Memphis. What I'd like to do is play an excerpt from her video, and I'm gonna come back and discuss it.
When I started seeing black women engaging in these behaviors, cape heavily for Tyre, expressing their empathy, which to me is not necessarily abnormal. Something I noticed on his Instagram and his social media pages, he constantly revered. If you have any familiarity with Northern California, in particular Sacramento, extremely colorist. They typically date interracially. So I wasn't shocked by this. I didn't feel any way about this. But something that I did notice on his Facebook in particular, little pandering vibes. So he was posting all of these different, SJW type of posts back in 2020. He said a message to humanity. The dark skin is the first ever. So if anything is to be quote unquote superior, it would be the black skin. Everything derives from black. To lastly, white, which created the quote unquote Eve gene. So the human race derives from black first and foremost. He also said, imagine generations of your people being set back by others' hatred and constantly not being able to quote unquote be our own. Imagine ruthless attacks against your neighborhoods, businesses, and people because they were saw as inhumane people in competition to the white man. Generations that could have built great futures for your people, and it's just taken from you like some kind of sport. Welcome to quote unquote true white America, not the hood white folks that got culture. This is why we say white women tears are deadly. The guy didn't do anything wrong and was let go. She was super excited in the first half to see it happen. Then when it didn't go her way, she started hysterically crying. Like, these are people's lives. And what if that man got taken out? Sickening as F. Now, it's ironic to me that this man is saying that white women's tears are deadly. And it also speaks volumes to the awareness that black men have in society, how they're perceived by non-black society, etc. And they go on to date the women that they cry and play the race card with. Again, it's just more of the pandering here. He said to my black women, this couldn't be any more true. Hashtag black girl magic. So the sticker says black women are genius. And yes, black women are genius. We are amazing. And he was also talking about some racialized event that happened to 4 black people. And he was upset because he felt like the news wasn't covering it. This post that I saw him make on his Instagram, white bees be like, and it's showing a white woman tanning, and he said, man, F these black girls. Tyre is a father as well. He said, throwback to the happiest day of my life and how white my son was, haha. Now, I don't have any kids, and I tell you guys this all the time, but if I was a parent, I'm pretty sure that my biggest concern would be that my baby was healthy, that my baby was alive, and that my baby was thriving. The last thing that I personally would care about is my baby's skin tone. But again, we're dealing with a person that comes from a culture that is extremely colorist, and they revere the whiteness that they secretly hate. We're here at the tweets. I'm not going to say that I'm shocked because I expect this. So this is what he said on his Twitter. I know some of you are going to say, oh, these tweets are old. At the end of the day, This man was an adult when he made this particular comment. He was, 21 or about to be 21. So somebody made a tweet and he said, "There's a reason I don't talk to dark-skinned bees. Do dark-skinned girl have good blank or nah?" He also said on his Twitter, "I need a white girl with blue eyes." And he replied to this person and said, "LOL, yeah, they're fun," referring to white women. Now, that's how you know Black women need to stop internalizing this. And he was alive. He found himself to be ugly. He said, "I'm not even kidding. I'm like ugly, LOL." And this was his girlfriend at the time. She said, "You're not even ugly. Shut up." He said, "I am though, LOL." And she said, "Babe," like shaking my head. He said, "Yes." And she said, "You're hot." He said, "Why, thank you. But I'm not hot, but thank you, babe." She said, "You're not ugly though." And he said, "I am though." And she said, "Me too," because she's trying to make him feel better about himself. And he says, "No, no, no." So because of him finding himself ugly, most likely because he is darker skinned, because of his features, he also felt that same very way about dark-skinned Black women, where he felt that they were ugly. He felt that they were less than. So he would project that onto them. And that's why I'm saying the issues that a lot of them have with their skin tone has literally nothing to do with you. They're just looking for somebody to bash because they feel at the bottom. So they need you to drag off to the bottom with them. These tweets definitely make me feel sick to my stomach. Because it's one thing when you say something about dark-skinned Black girls, "Oh, I don't date them." Okay, who cares? Like, you're not a desirable to us. But when you then start glorifying violence against them, that's what you need to be careful with. What I noticed on his Twitter is that he got this sick gratification out of Black girls fighting. And I don't know about y'all, but I hate to see people fight, even if it's online, even if it's in person. It just bothers me. But he loved to see them fight. He said, "Witness a Black girl fight. Haha, that's some crazy ish. A Black girl fight. This should be interesting. Why do they always fly during a fight? Hashtag Black girls wig." This man loved to see us fighting, but he lost his life in the most way. Ooh, that gives me chills to thought about that. But this tweet here, I was done after this. Someone called him stupid on Twitter, and he was upset that this person called him stupid. Do you know what he literally replied to this person and said? He said, "Don't call me stupid. I will have a are you hashtag in a quickness." Now, what news station did you hear report on this? None of these news outlets reporting that this person who y'all are acting like is the next closest thing to the Messiah was literally weaponizing a onto someone who just called them stupid and also R-ing that person.
So you've seen what happened there. Now it appears that, and again, I'm from Sacramento. Sacramento is a city that, if we're going to be honest, at least when I was going there, you had brothers that were dealing with Black women. But at the same time, Sacramento is a city where it's a lot of interracial dating. And a lot of Black men in the city of Sacramento have a lot of options. So his rhetoric around that time that he's saying it, let me just say that it's not shocking. I mean, it's kind of shocking to put it on Twitter. But I mean, I had personal friends myself who felt like that. Like nobody that I grew up with was dating somebody Black for the most part, unless they was from the hood. You just didn't see it. And I think it's even worse now. So brother Tyre Nichols, obviously he's wrong for saying that. And I've said things that I wish I could just take back just 10 years ago, and it's wrong. But here's what I want to say. A lot of times brothers don't come into the knowledge. I know, like, just me and my active participation in the pro-Black community in the last, I would say 7 to 8 years has really changed a lot of my perspective. I've really been actively participating like the last 5 to 6 years. Like I said, really in the Pan-African community and things like that. I would never even consider myself to be that. I even had harsh words to say about people from the Africans community. I was really at a point, didn't like really a lot of Nigerian people in America. But you know what? Are you supposed to be to confine to that your whole life? I think the thing that with Black women, because Paris' argument was like, look, before you start supporting this guy, look at what he said about you. I understand what that is. But toward the end of the brother's life, yeah, he had a white woman and he had a half Black child and stuff like that. And again, they're always gonna come after you Black men more hardly if you have any evidence of interracial dating or things like that. And I just want to say for Black women in America, because I know a lot of brothers have had harsh things to say about Black women when they were young. But now once they get older and become mature and understand that what they did was wrong, and they're now living a lifestyle that's supporting the black community or trying to support black women and being respectful to black women, isn't that the whole goal? I mean, so it's like, okay, if a black man, he was at one point in his life, he didn't, really have a lot of respect for black women or something like that, right? And then he shows that, he's speaking on the behalf of sisters. He's actually dating a sister. I don't know what he was doing. So it's like, I mean, is he supposed to suffer in his death? I mean, it's not like he was the one guy, Obam Selly, that one guy who was just, he was still dating a white woman. He could have been one of those fake pro-blacks, which was, those fake pro-blacks, they talk black and they sleep white. And like I said, a lot of guys from Sacramento, they deal with the whites. I've never really dealt with them like that. I've had maybe one white girl for my whole life, but I don't deal with like I said, with the whites. You know what I mean? It's not anything against them. I just rather be with the blacks. This is one of the reasons why, I live the lifestyle that I live. But at some point, how often are we going to just say, all right, well, this man wasn't, he changed his perspective. He wasn't disrespecting black women no more. He was talking on the behalf of black women now. And I mean, don't that count for something? And I think the real thing is okay, he had that kid and the kid was white. And he said something on the level of happiest day of my life and my kid came out so white. And then now I think because he was talking kind of black and talking kind of, talking against the, kind of woke and everything, and things like that. But let me just say this real quick. As far as, black women taking their support away from somebody, supporting somebody when they die. This sort of Black Lives Matter support kind of thing that happens, I think it's not even really about what the black man is saying about, or the black woman is saying about black men or vice versa. It's a systemic problem that people are just, talking about, which is racism, right? So if you're a black person and you're being abused by the police, they don't know what he said. Or if it's a woman, they don't know what she said. I think a lot of blacks are getting behind that just for the fact of it could be any of us, right? But I also want to leverage this and say, as far as black women taking their support or not, the reality is the man is dead. He don't know who is supporting what. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he was killed. It seems like he was killed unjustly, and it's still a message about police brutality in the future. So even if you are, deciding to support what's going on with this cause, you still supporting your son or you supporting your daughter. And I get what she's trying to say, but at the same time, there's a lot of people in Black America that have said some things about black people or about the black diaspora, and they have realized that what they were saying was wrong. So do they ever get it passed? Is there anything that they ever get it passed for saying that it was wrong? Because if that's the case, then, what you gonna do with Paul, who was Saul? He used to persecute Christians. What you gonna do with Malcolm X? Malcolm X was a pimp. He was everything. And then he came in to help, he used to prostitute black women and came in and wanting to clean them up. I mean, we have so many people in our community who are gangsters, who are drug dealers, and look at the amazing things that they do now once they come into the knowledge. So I get what she's saying, but at the same time, it's something to be looked at. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'm out.